So please, with a round of applause, welcome on stage Rainer Pesti. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Nice to see you. I got only one task: keep it simple, because the sorting is should be so complicated. Yep, this is for me. I will keep it simple. If you think about last 50 years, if you think about what is the biggest game changer of the last 50 years, what is the biggest megatrend of the last 50 years, what affects our lives the most, what it could be, one thing with one word. AI. AI will be next 50 years the biggest thing, but the last 50 years. It's a Can you see the slide? It's there, yes. You see it? It's a population growth, yes? So if you think about this slide, it's crazy. Mankind has lived on this Mother Earth 100,000 years. And believe it or not, but 100 years ago, on the Earth, we had 2 billion people. And then, just with 100 years, we achieved 8 billion. 100,000 years and 100 years. So, when I joined 10 years ago with the Ragn-Sells, there was a lot of discussions that a human has any impact for the climate change, the things what's happening with the CO2 and etc. But nowadays the scientific world has proved several times the impact that human has, and you see several correlations there. The population went up with 100 years 4 times, and the global GDP has grown 10 times. The energy usage, the same correlation, the carbon dioxide amount in the air, the same amount, and etc., etc. Nowadays we talk a lot about 1.5 degrees approach. Why this 1.5 degrees is so important is because this is like a final momentum when the economy system, social systems, the nature, the species can adopt with the changes. When it will be 2 degrees or more, then it will be a huge impact for the economy and the social systems. We can talk a lot about the CO2. Does it exist? I can't see it. What is actually the real footprint? But this man's grandfather was fishing in this lake. Those pictures are taken from Indonesia. He's picking up the plastic. And if he has a really good day, he gets $8 per day. Yeah? But we all understand that all the ecosystem in this lake is died out. And it's not because the plastic is bad, it's because how we behave. And we in Ragn-Sells, we see a lot. There's a lot of trends are going on all the time. You remember those spinners? Yes? After every 3 months, there's a new trend. Yeah? We just consume, we buy the trendy things. When the trend is over, we just throw it away and it will end up in the recycle bin. What makes the human special compared with all the other species and unique is that we are only species who consume as much as we want. All the other species consume as much as they need. Yeah? But we consume as much as we want. We send $10 to the AliExpress, we get a lot of cheap stuff. Next day it will break down, we don't care about it, we will send an extra 10 euros to there, and we get new things. And where this 8 billion people, 10 times global GDP growth, 5 times consuming amounts growth, where it leads us? It leads us that we are running out of the materials. This is the European Critical Raw Materials table. They made first version in the middle of the 80s, and then they mapped 3 critical materials. Now, 40 years later, there's over 40 elements which are already in short term or mid term will be critical for the EU societies and the economy. The consuming amounts are so high nowadays is that it sounds crazy, but we will run out of the sand as well. Somewhere 2050, 2060. Yeah? We have plenty on the sand on the Mother Earth, but the thing is, we will run out of the quality sand where we can take the silica. So the modern economy system, it's called linear economy, and it means that we take the resources from the earth. Only minority part of the companies are actually paying attention about the product design. What happens with my product when it's end of the life cycle? Like 90%, 90+% companies do not think about it. They just want to produce. They want to produce as cheap as possible. They want to sell it as much as possible. And when it breaks down, still, even year 2023, over the 80% of the waste will end up on the landfills or in the incineration plants. Yes, we just burn it. Yeah, and next day, we will start to mine new resources. I'm not saying that there's too many people on Earth. What I'm saying is, this linear system, it's not sustainable. And if we want to keep living in a way like we do, we need to start rethinking. We need to rethinking the way how we live and how we see the waste. In Ragn-Sells world, we do not talk about the waste. We talk about the materials. Yeah. How many of you is sorting in a home? Nice. That's good. Why it's so important to reuse those materials? It's because, well, it's so annoying that I just want to point, but I only can see here. 40%, 50% of the global emission is generated by material production and by the food production. So that's extremely important why we need to, whatever we take from the Mother Earth, we need to give it back to the loop, yes? So let's call it waste bin. The thing is, the waste bin is full of materials, valuable materials, the bio-waste, the plastics, metals, everything. So every time, as a consumers, we need to make the decisions, what we're going to do with this piece of paper. Are we throw it away? It will be burned. Next day, are we cutting down the forest to make a new paper? Or as a consumer, we're going to make and take the responsibility that this paper will be reused. The next life of this paper will be a drawing paper, after that newspaper, and the end of the life, it will be egg box. Yeah? But we can give the same paper for the same resource. We can give like 4 new lives. And every time it's in our hands what we're going to decide. Are we going to throw it away as a waste, or we believe it's a material? A yogurt cups, a valuable material. We can take the crude oil from Mother Earth, or we can make the plastic and sockets from the old yogurt cups. Tetra Pak, extremely complicated material, because there's at least 4 different materials together, 2 different types of plastic, aluminium inside, the cardboard, but the most valuable is the cardboard because it has really strong cellulose fibers, and this cellulose fiber is used in the gypsum industry to make those papers around the gypsum plates. You know that story that the PET bottles will end up in the textile industry. It will be used for the soft shells and the sport wearings and etc. Aluminium cans, it can be basically used everywhere. There's only 2 industries where you can't use the aluminium cans. It's a space industry and it's a plane industry, but all the other industries, those old cans will get a new chance. Batteries. Any guesses what is the next life of the batteries? You're not going to say it, but all the others can say it, yeah? Ladies? Any guesses? Cosmetics, exactly. All the creams, all the creams which are reflecting back the light. The reason or the story behind of that is that to get the reflection, it needs zinc, a metal dust. And one way to get this zinc is from the old batteries, yes? And this is like a perfect example about how fun actually this reuse or circular economy is. Whatever the secondary material is, when we talk about achieving the climate goals, then it's as simple. Basically, if we can recycle 10% more materials than we do today, then we will achieve the climate neutrality approach. Only 10% more than we do it today. Because, as I said, the material industry has a huge CO2 footprint. But if you use the secondary materials, it's all low carbon materials, yes? But more than that, it's the recycling, is refusing that I make the decision that I do not consume. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to say you don't buy anything. What I'm saying is make the smart choices, yes? I have an agreement with myself. I never buy the coffee if I do not have my own cup with, yes? I still have the possibility to enjoy the great taste of the coffee, yeah? Did you know that every day in Estonia nice. Every day in Estonia we use over 100,000 single-use cups, and it's a composite material, so it's basically thrown away, wasted resource. Yeah? Nothing happens if you use your own cup. The same story with the plastic bottles. What's crazy, to produce 1 liter plastic bottle, you need 3 liters of water, yes? To give you 1 liter of water, you need, to produce the bottle, you need 3 liters of water. It doesn't make sense. Example of refusing, why you need this cardboard box? You don't, yeah? Use your own bag. Simple examples, how to cut down your everyday footprint, and etc. I have 3 minutes left. I'm going to talk about a little bit what we are doing, how we see the future in Ragn-Sells. This critical raw material table is one of the most important strategic documents for us. We are searching different critical raw materials from different type flows. For example, phosphorus. It's one of the rare materials for the EU. EU can produce only 5% of the phosphorus. The only mining what we have in the Europe is in Finland. The other country who has plenty of phosphorus resources are which one in the Europe? Estonia, yes. So there's somehow it's just a matter of times. Are we start mining those phosphorus or not? Yeah. But we have innovation. We have the technology. You don't need to mine. You can take it out from the waste. Did you know the story that if the plant is growing, the plant is taking the phosphorus inside. So we eat the plant, and then the goes directly to the hyperloop. Let's call it hyperloop. Basically, it goes to the water treatment plant. And we have a technology how to take out those phosphorus and give it back to the loop, to the agriculture, the animal feed, whatever the thing is. But at the ending, as I started, there is no waste. We need to rethink the way how we think it's materials. It's everything, it's materials, it's material banks. Our biggest circular project is in Ragn-Sells Group happening right here in Estonia. These are the oil shale ash, it's energy production ash. We have generated more than 100 years. We have 600 million tons of ashes, and only 1% of the ashes have actually reused. So basically all these 600 million tons what we have generated is just laying in the nature and generating a lot of problems. Why? Because it's really alkaline. The reason why it's alkaline, because there's a calcium inside. So we have a technology how to take out the calcium out. More than that, we will capture the CO2. We make the reaction to produce calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is really widely used. It's everywhere. Basically everything what is white is because of calcium carbonate. The paint on the wall, white plastic, medicines, 98% of the calcium carbonate. And if we have taken out the calcium from the ashes, the next thing what we are heading is a magnesium. Europe can produce only 0 ton of magnesium by itself, but we have a possibility to produce 30% of the European magnesium here, right here in Estonia, based on the circular principles. I know that I'm out of the time, but I'm wrapping up. The idea is those things what we have watched as a waste last 100 years, we need to understand if we want to live in a way like we have lived, we start to watch those things as a material. So that's it.
Thank you.